Okay, this is a sped up version of the scene that I just did this afternoon. It's going to be an hour-and-a-half card in just a little over 4 minutes here. Okay, so I'm stamping out the Seaside Cove Small and then stamping out the new lighthouse right on the horizon there. And we're going to do a dramatic kind of Northern Lights type of look in the sky right over this lighthouse. So it's going to be the lights over the light. Okay, so this is using glossy cardstock, and the inks that I'm using are dye-based inks, and I'm going to be using them in a range of green tones, so kind of yellow-green tones, giving it that emerald green type of look. So I'm applying a pretty good layer of this first color down, okay? I'm not just coloring though. What I'm doing is I'm applying enough of this first ink to kind of saturate the surface of this paper to some degree, and also a little bit of the pulp of the paper. So after you apply it, you don't just stop there. You have to kind of saturate it more so than you probably think you need to. And that's going to come into play later on when we get to our darker inks. Okay, we want these to apply nice and gracefully with some really nice feathered transitions, kind of like Northern Lights. So in order to do that, what you do is you apply enough ink so that it gives it that kind of luminous glow, looking like the lights are coming from within the card and out. But it's also for ease of blending and application why you use so much ink. Okay, now one of the things that I do is we're going to retain some of the lighter areas of the card, lighter areas I guess in this case of yellow. So you can see where I start getting really streaky with these darker colors. Okay, so I'm still in some medium greens right here. Okay, this one's a kind of a yellow green, and I'm applying that in a pretty good saturation. I'm always starting from the top and kind of dragging it down, at least when I first ink up my in this case, just a paper towel here, okay? Going on with the darker green. And you can see where the darker colors, I don't use it quite as much as the lighter tones because I want it to transition from light to dark. Okay, so after that, what I'm doing is I'm coloring with alcohol pens, you know. That paper towel, a wadded up paper towel is not great for detailed areas. And I stamped everything out in dye-based inks, so they're water-based inks, so I can use alcohol inks right over the top to add some shadows and whatnot without smearing the water-based dyes. Okay, stamping out the leaf stamp in the foreground in black to give, you know, a little bit more depth to the scene, and adding these darker components like this make the lighter areas seem lighter by contrast. Some Dr. Martin's bleed-proof white, opaque white watercolor paint to add stars, and I'm using an extra fine acrylic paint pen down here in the ocean waves to give it a little bit more depth and texture and kind of a shimmer to that wavy area. Okay, so it's kind of like dots in the sky represent stars, but dots down in the waves represent kind of splashing water. Adding in a little bit of white pigmenting to my lighthouse, giving that lighthouse a little bit of a glow to make it look like the light is on. Okay, now I'm mounting my card here to give it that card format. Adding this quote stamp here, love must be as much a light as it is a flame. I thought that goes really well with this scene. And it blocked off some of my area, so I'm adding in some extra stars up top with the acrylic paint pen. And that's the card here. I hope you liked it. Thanks so much for watching.